Hi, I'm Joy. I'm here at Johnny Selected Seeds in our Gomphrena trial. The trial's looking really good this year, so we wanted to show what we have and also talk about the two different species of Gomphrena that we offer. So I'm going to start with just a few notes about Gomphrena in general. This is a crop that's really great for fresh cuts and for dried. Some of the things that are really nice about it is that it has a long harvest window. So if you aren't able to get this as soon as it starts blooming, that's fine. You have time. These plants that I'm standing next to have been in the field for almost 4 months now, and you can see that there's still a lot of fresh blooms coming off of them. For cultural considerations for Gomphrena, this is a crop that we do not pinch. It's naturally really densely branching, and so we don't pinch. We just let them go in the field, and then we also don't provide any additional support or anything. For the most part, they grow pretty uprightly, and we find that we don't need to give support to them. So the globosa types are, this is what you see here behind me. This particular variety is Audrey White, and these are really dense vegetative plants, like almost like a small shrub here at this point. And you can see there's a lot of vegetative growth. There's a lot of blooms coming off of here, multiple blooms per stem for a lot of these. And the blooms are going to be at different stages of growth or maturity on an individual stalk too. So that's something that you're going to find if you're harvesting for fresh or for dried. You're probably going to come away with blooms that are at a little bit different stages of maturity. So this is an example of a few different types of maturity on one stem. So here you have a very immature bloom. The neck is pretty weak on that. The flower is not fully developed. That is not going to last after you've harvested it. These two right here are at a good harvest stage. You can see a little bit of the flowers actually opening within the bracts, but they're not fully open. Both of these would be a good harvest stage. And then this right here is an example of that's past the ideal harvest stage. You can see some of the bracts have already started to fall off of this bloom, and it's starting to shatter pretty easily. So that will just continue to happen once it's harvested. What we typically do is harvest, strip off the leaves, and then you're usually left with a few blooms at the top of the stem that fall within the range of acceptable maturity for either fresh or for dried. And then this is just an example of what a full bunch of Audrey White would look like. One of the things that's great about this variety are the long, sturdy, clean stems. They do have a tendency to snap at these these knuckles here on this. So you do have to take a little bit of care when you're harvesting, but overall this is a really great uniform variety. The globosa types in general have a range of colors from white with different like pink and rose and pastel shades all the way to kind of this really brilliant magenta color that you can see here. This is Audrey purple red. Much darker and more vibrant, but a lot of good color options. They hold their color well when they're dried, and they have this very vigorous, upright, kind of densely vegetative growth habit. So now I'm standing in front of our plots of Gomphrena hagiana. So this is a different species from Gomphrena globosa, and hopefully you can see a little bit of that difference in the plant habit here. It's a less vegetative plant habit and a little less leaf growth, and also a little bit more lower growing. These do have a tendency to kind of topple and lean a little bit as the season goes on, but they still grow upright enough that you can continue to harvest them well into the season. Also has a long harvest window. And right here in this shot, we have the 3 different colors of Gomphrena hagiana that we offer. So this bright red one is Strawberry Fields. This orange is QIS or Kiss Orange. And then this nice hot pink is QIS or Kiss Carmine. All really nice, rich, dark, saturated colors in the Gomphrena hagiana species. So that's one of the differences between these and the Gomphrena globosa. The color range is definitely different, kind of a little bit louder and brighter in this species. And also you may notice the bloom shape. The flowers tend to be a little bit more elongated and a little bit less globe shaped. And then along with the differences in the vegetative growth, you typically only get one bloom on top of each stem for the Gomphrena hagiana. So it's a little bit easier to harvest a single flower per stem at the maturity that you want with this species. But the guidelines for harvesting maturity are similar to the Gomphrena globosa. You want to harvest when the plants are developed enough so that they aren't kind of floppy and weak like that, and where they have started to show some of the flowers opening up inside the bracts, but before they get to the stage where they are shattering and losing petals. So that's the same for both species. And then I just wanted to show an example. This is the Kiss Carmine. This is what a bunch looks like of that. Really nice, clean, long stems. And then compared to Gomphrena globosa variety, this is Audrey White and Kiss Carmine. Again, you can see just some of the differences in growth habit, what the differences look like between the bunches. Both really excellent option for dried or for fresh cuts.